we'd bring in our good buddy Mark Sanchez. He was in the broadcast booth for the Panthers and the Ravens Week 11. He'll be on the call for the Saints at the 49ers. Former quarterback, now analyst for Fox Sports. Mark, thanks for joining us. Where do you see the Niners right now? If we did power rankings in the NFC, where do you have San Francisco?
I mean, they're in the top handful for sure. You see Jimmy G taking care of the football and distributing the ball well. It looks like, there's always teams right at the trade deadline who make this final push and okay, we're all in. And then we're going to show you how all in we are. We're going to go get Christian McCaffrey. We're going to go pick up a receiver. We're going to go pick up a tight end, whatever it takes. So clearly they're in on it. And, thanks for not leading me off with the Jets, Zach Wilson stuff.
Well, I could have led you off with something else with the Jets. Today's the anniversary.
From their game? Come on.
I didn't bring it up.
Playoff wins? My bad. Oh, sorry.
10 years ago. 10 years ago. Yeah, the anniversary. The fumble.
You're better than that.
No, I am. I thought you were referencing that. And I was thinking.
No. It was.
How about we try this?
I'm actually here.
You know what? Let's try this again. 3, 2,
20-second timeout.
Yeah. Yes. Mark Sanchez joining us. We'll get to the Jets coming up in a moment.
And we're back.
Okay. But the best team in the NFC right now is who?
Before last week, I would have said Minnesota,
Oh, really?
Geez. I just thought they were playing so well. But you could tell they had a little bit of a hangover after that huge win against Buffalo. And that kind of thing happens. The year, I want to say, my second year with the Jets, we went up on Monday night. We beat the Pats early in the year and went up on Monday night and got beat 38-3 or 42-3, something ridiculous, to the point where Rex actually physically dug a hole behind the facility and buried a game ball, meaning we're not going to talk about it anymore. We're plenty embarrassed. I don't want to see the film anymore. We'll go see those guys later on in the year, potentially in the playoffs, and we did in the divisional.
Wait, did you have a ceremony where he brought the whole team out and buried the football?
Oh, he brought the whole team out, buried the ball. That's how embarrassed it was. It was that bad. It was so bad. I said it the other day, but I think that game I put Lee Bodden in the Pro Bowl. I mean, I threw him 4 picks or something ridiculous. And he bought me a drink at that Super Bowl, actually, because we were both doing some event or whatever, but we were at the bar and he sends me a drink and the bartender goes, "Hey, this is from Lee Bodden." And I was like, "What the hell?" And I see him across the bar. He's like, "Thanks, boss." I'm like,
you put him in the Pro Bowl with one game.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
All right. Well, let me talk about the Jets situation here. And when you hear Zach Wilson being asked about, do you apologize? Well, we'll put it in context. We'll just play it. Here's Zach Wilson after the loss.
As an offense, though, I mean, when you guys are only able to score 3 points, the defense only lets up 3 points. I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down at all?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you do?
Oh, man.
Wait, is that a beer?
No, it's water.
Oh, okay. I thought, damn, I didn't want you to start drinking at 10:30 in the morning.
World Cup, baby. Here's the deal. You don't ever want to let anybody, but especially in this kind of media market, you don't want to let them see you sweat, right? You'd like to avoid that if you can. And I know Rex sounded off on him. I feel like every other week I catch strays from Rex on TV, but yesterday he actually had my back, and this is something you can't argue. I can't say I was the most talented. I can't say I was the most successful. There's certain things, certain performances weren't better than others, whatever. But what I can always tell you is I fell on the sword, and that's just what you do. It's part of being the position. It's more than just the X's and O's. It's who you become. When somebody walks in the room, head and shoulders above everybody else. You're the quarterback, and people should be able to know that. That's just what you sign up for: the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay. The easiest way, in my opinion, to handle what he had to handle, and it was a I'm no attorney, but not maybe badgering the witness, but leading the witness, Your Honor. Like, it's a little ridiculous, the question. However, that question doesn't even exist if you step up to the podium and just say, guys, you know what? That was a tough one for us, and we got to get better, and it starts with me. Right there. You just eliminate so much. But if you never say anything, if you don't acknowledge it, and you just keep going through your press conference, of course you're going to get that question. And then, it just looked a little, like he's just trying to avoid it, and he won't own it. And it's a big boy game now in a big boy city. And he's feeling, I remember waking up after rough games and just like, damn, here we go. You're going to have to step up to that podium. But at the same time, I remember running up the tunnel after winning and after playing well and all those things. So it all kind of goes together. And right now it just feels a little big for him. You know what I mean? It just feels like it's a little too much. And it's really hard.
I wonder, because you were playing in Los Angeles, and at the time they didn't have an NFL team. So the NFL team was USC. And it felt like you were at least accustomed to facing the media.
100%. I can't agree with you enough. And if anybody was primed and prepared for this stage, it would have been me, based on my experience with the media, with beat writers, and interacting with that kind of stuff. And still, there was a learning curve.
Yeah.
And still, whoa, your words carry weight here. Like, dang, that press conference is legit here. There's a lot going on. So if you can imagine that, my kind of learning curve from LA, USC, big time program, all that, and now you're going from, Provo to here, that's a big jump. So, I think he's experiencing that now, and it's difficult.
Well, Ross Tucker, who played in the NFL, said yesterday that Zach was defensive. You're defensive because you may be insecure about this. If you own the team, you own the moment, then act like that, and you get defensive. That's not the time to be defensive. You go on the offensive to say, just like you did.
Put out the fire.
Yes.
Put out the fire.
Well, there's no fire. There's no fire. He built a fire and then lit the match to it. Yeah. There would be nothing. We would be talking about his poor play. Would you start him the next?
And that's the thing. They're gonna talk about if you throw 5 touchdowns or throw 5 interceptions, they got to report it. Somebody's gonna talk about it, right? Like, it's gonna happen either way.
Would you start him in the next game? Would you start him?
Here's what you got to ask yourself. Like, is he going to give us the best chance to win? Is he putting the team at risk by putting the football at risk consistently? And right now, he's done that in a couple of, knucklehead plays, whatever. I'm okay with a miscommunication, a bad throw, a really good defensive play, whatever. But if you get too careless with the football, you're going to make people ask, like, all right, is there somebody else on the roster that can take care of the football better than the person playing right now? Can Flacco do it? Probably, based on the way this defense is playing. It sounds like, the head man wasn't, he was non-committal about him starting. Gosh, it's so hard to say. Like, I can't say bench him. I've been there too. I got benched for Greg McElroy. Like, Greg and I joke about it now. At the time, it was awful. But first play of the game, I throw an interception on a read that I know better. Like, I tried to force a ball, and immediately Rex was like, no, we're not doing that. Get out. And it was probably the right move. You hold the hopes and dreams and aspirations of the entire organization when you hold the football. And if you're going to put the football in jeopardy, you can't play. You just can't do it. So God, I can't. I'm going to go Robert Saleh non-committal on this one. I don't know.
Talking to Mark Sanchez, Fox NFL analyst. He has the Niners coming up, Saints at the Niners coming up this weekend. The Arizona Cardinals situation is interesting because they signed up everybody long-term, coach, GM, quarterback, and it just feels like there's something that's missing there that is not going to be good here by the end of the season. What do you think?
Yeah, and I don't think guys mic'd up and being able to watch the conversations on the sidelines on like a Wednesday have really helped that situation. Sorry, I keep getting a phone call. It sounds like something's off. It looks like there's communication issues, but once again, I'm not in that locker room. You could just tell by the way it's going down. I thought Cole played all right. He came in and tried to do his job last night, but it's, they were built for Kyler to play. And, you start asking yourself questions about everything going on, the whole clause in the contract, like all that stuff starts to come up again, when it doesn't go right. And,
but wide receivers talk about, when you have a quarterback in the pocket, you can run your routes. You sort of know there's timing and all of that. With Kyler, Lamar, when these guys are going to be running and I think it's harder for these receivers. So they probably look at somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo or Colt McCoy. You kind of know where the quarterback's going to be and helps you do your job a little bit more. Is that a fair assessment of these quarterbacks?
I'd say that's fair. I'd say, generally speaking, more of a pocket passer, like the coordinator or the quarterback coach, the receiver coach, when the ball snapped or right before, you have a pretty good idea based on what you're seeing. Like, okay, the ball's either going to go here, here, or here, or, oh boy, I hope we make a good decision here because this doesn't look good. When you get guys who have that special ability to extend plays, you have to be nails on your scramble rules, meaning, okay, this is the play. This is the original play. But as soon as he breaks contain, as soon as, something goes different than what we planned, boom, this is our new plan. This is our contingency plan.
Yeah.
When he goes this way, I need someone shallow. I need someone trailing. If you're deep, stay deep. If you're close to the quarterback, find a window and get in phase with him so I can, find a lane and find you. It just looks off. Something looks off, and they're not all on the same page. It's really showing on the field.
Caleb Williams reminds you of who?
He's got a little Mahomes to him.
I keep hearing that.
He's got a little.
Yeah.
It's. I think some of it's like the arm angle and the innate, like, God-given talent with his arm. It's special, and he'll extend plays. Sometimes he'll like drop back, and then it almost looks like the old we used to call it like a sprint, and basically you drop back 3 steps to kind of get the defense to bite and get the pass rush to bite, and then you'd kind of boot out to your left or right. But you'd have to set them for a second, almost like setting the hook and fishing kind of deal. Like you wait and boom, set the hook. Well, Caleb can drop back and then kind of drops back again a couple times in the game. He'll just like move to the right, like 6 steps, and then just reestablish his base and look around. I'm like, whoa, what's he doing? How's he doing that? A lot of guys can't reassess, right? Like as soon as you break the pocket and everything changes, the picture changes. He's out of it, reestablishes himself, and has this ability to find everybody again. That's really hard to do, and he does it with ease. I thought the only issue in that game the other day is just at the end of the game, you can't take that sack, right? Like keep your team down there, get the field goal, but they overcome it and win the game, so it doesn't matter. But he's one of the best in the country, hands down. And he looks like he's having fun. And in an offense like that, you get to air it out like crazy. It's really fun to watch.
How much do you hate Notre Dame?
I don't know if I ever like hated them. I'll tell you what I did hate. We used to stay at that crappy hotel when you go on the road, and the whole thing, like those indoor pools, and the whole thing smells like chlorine, and like it just kind of hurts to breathe in there. It was terrible. I used to hate going to wherever we had to go. But I do remember, my my recruiting visit there, and they said, you got to live on campus for 3 years and all this stuff. And coming from Southern California, the town was, as big as our high school. I was like, what the heck is going on out here? This is different. I don't know if this is going to work for the kid here.
Who was the quarterback, though, you would have competed with at Notre Dame?
At Notre Dame, Brady Quinn was there. I don't know if they ended up taking anybody in the same class. Colt ended up going to Texas. I tripped to Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Mac Brown was one of the best. I mean, we're talking used car salesman now. He was awesome. He sold Texas so hard. And I was, I had no reason. They're taking a kid named Colt McCoy who lived up the street. Okay.
Yes.
My dad's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. You got no
Some
shot.
kid named Sanchez, some Mexican kid from California. Like, are you nuts? The kid's name is Colt McCoy. Like, no chance.
It should have been Colt Austin.
Exactly.
Austin McCoy would have fit.
That's pretty
Jimmy
funny.
Clausen probably was there, wasn't he?
Oh, no, he was after me though.
Oh,
he was
okay.
after me.
Okay.
Getting too old, man.
Yeah. Hey, safe travels there up to San Francisco. That's not well, you're in New York now, then you got to go back and then go up.
Go back home, do a little Thanksgiving celebration. It used to be my favorite holiday till you bring up those kind of anniversaries,
I seriously thought you were bringing up the anniversary because you were going to get out in front of it. You were going to be the anti-Zach Wilson.
There we go.
You were going to
bring it all together.
You were going to bring it up, and you were going to mention that it's the 10-year anniversary of the Bud Phone.
Put out the fire.
That's it. That's my bad, man. I read the room wrong. I pulled a Zach Wilson. I'm going to take ownership.
That was really the knock on you coming out in the draft. Just reading the room. And
great to talk to you as always.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, buddy. Good sport. Mark Sanchez. He had some funny lines in there.